Today, I wanted to focus a lot of my time commenting on a video a friend passed on to me on David Wilcock. There are a few people out there that are saying a lot of um, relevant things that I think are important for humanity to know about. Um, when there's so much information coming from so many different directions, it's hard to know what's right and what's wrong. But if you can sort of see the contradictions that we all have, and you can focus on what doesn't contradict itself, then you can see what the truth is and what whereabouts we're headed. Now, David Wilcock is somebody that is almost getting it. This is like the coolest video I've seen in a long time. He doesn't get the full and complete picture yet, but he's as close as it's going to get. So I wanted to, um, when I start seeing different videos and I agree or disagree, I'm going to start commenting on, where I'm getting my information and how I know what's true and what isn't true. So I'll be going over David Wilcock stuff. There's another guy out there that I really find is extremely helpful, and it is information on holodynamics. You can go and check it out at www.holodynamics.com. Dr. Vernon Wolf. Some of his research is really, really friggin' amazing. When I look at something, I look for where it's wrong. I look for the contradictions in it. Um, and that's something that's really, really hard to find a contradiction in it. And it will actually give you a headache to read it because this guy had to know so many different sciences and then like put all of the sciences together and say, doesn't this make sense to you? Um, he claims it's a tool that can solve every problem known to the human experience. The only problem I found with that is it doesn't recognize the unknown problem, which is what's good as a tool if you can't recognize you have a problem. And if you read through his stuff, you'll see he's contradicting his own self. He doesn't believe in his own work, um, which is sort of like the human condition is we don't see our own contradictions. He's a guy that's claiming that he was poisoned with high grade uranium and transformed that and cured himself of that, but ended up developing a heart problem. And, while you're claiming you can solve all problems and you've been curing cancer and just about every illness, why is it your heart is now incurable? And heart is about love, and do you love your enemies? Do you have that unconditional love to see love through the guy that tried to kill you? That's sort of what his concepts are in his book, but um, the fact that he still has this heart problem is kind of telling me that there's some heart, some love problem within his um, reality, his virtual reality game that he's playing. I've tried communicating with him, and I feel such an energy wall of blocking and pushing away. Um, that if this guy should have been a lot more famous a lot longer. He has a tool to have he wrote some of these books 20 years ago and it's been curing people. So why aren't his books on the bestsellers list if you have a tool that can solve every problem known to the human experience? So there is a few contradictions in his work, but the science is really eye-opening. um, and there's another guy that oh Jesus, off the top of my head, um, uh, Ike, David Ike, I believe is his name. I'm really, really bad at names. So that's why, pick the science that I've researched, and it's really hard to have this recall. So that's why I'm kind of commenting on my own channel. But Ike is really on to something. He still doesn't have what I'm waiting for this guy to sort of wake up to is he keeps talking about the answer is infinite love. And but he's not really talking too much about it and what it means and what it looks like. And he's still talking in a manner that doesn't have a feel good energy. It's still warning and fear, and we better wake up. And, you know, I don't like to, um, it's sort of a contradiction when you have fear in whatever it is you're talking about. And there are no enemies. There's, the drive to make us be our responsible ourselves. So, are you going to be angry at the reason that, the drive that got you to expand on your own life? Like every bad experience that's happened to me, I've grown from the experience. I've gained so much strength, so much knowledge that I end up loving a lot more of myself every time I overcome a challenge. Every time I learn a lesson in everything that I've experienced, I get wiser and stronger. So I've never ever perceived life from a hating perspective. In order to see the solution, you got to kind of love the problem. And once you have a love for the problem, you see what's good about the problem, and you then open your mind to what is the solution, then you can see the solution a lot better. Everything in our reality, most of it is invisible to us. And anger and frustration is what will keep you blind to the solution because you're caught up in the problem. So the only way to sort of jump out of the problems is through this concept of infinite love. And it all starts with you. Nothing that's going on in the world is right now. Nothing. Everybody has advice. Everybody's got, hey, follow me and do this path. And it's like, who really knows what the right thing to do is? In the end of the day, the only person that knows what's right is you. So, but you don't know what's right for me, and I don't know what's right for you. So you have to learn your intuition, find out what love is for you, and then start asking your questions through love. Find your solutions, and let me find mine. And you got to know that this intuition, whatever crazy voice, if this voice says you got to do this, this is your answer, and it doesn't make any sense to you, and you know the world is going to be against you if you do follow through on that voice. But if you're doing it from a source of love, then it's the right thing to do. And basically, you can't go wrong because everybody's wrong right now. So you've got nothing to lose but doing another wrong thing. But it's a suggestion to me that if you follow your own instincts through love, that's not going to be a mistake. And we have to trust in humanity to let each other find our own path and find our own way and stop judging other people and start looking at, okay, what's good about all of this? Our overpopulation, that's kind of a really interesting, what could be going on with this? What's good about us being overpopulated? Now, if everything is invisible, what happens to people that die? Um, there's a UFO, there's other dimensions that we can't see. Can't those people that die end up going just through another dimension that we can't see them? And maybe there's a reincarnation where most people that are dead might be all reincarnating until we populate enough to learn good health. If your health is good, you're not sinning. If you're not sinning, you're learning the right path that we're all supposed to be going on, and our health will increase. So maybe we need this many people on this planet to take us to where we need to go next. Just a thought.